Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. We're doing a game review for you this fine day in August 2025. This is Mafia, the old country. This is kind of an exciting one for me personally, because I really like the Mafia series. It's not my favorite game series of all time, but it's got enough spark and legacy for me. The first Mafia game, when it came out back in the day, my friend played that on PC, and I tried it. It was not my cup of tea. It was tough, okay, and I wasn't much of a PC gamer. Still am not. But you know what, like Mafia, the definitive edition, which came out kind of during COVID-ish, that was really good, and I really liked the remade version of it. It was way functional, a little buggy if I'm being honest, but pretty damn good. And I like Mafia 2, less so Mafia 3, but this is a kind of a prequel. And we go back in time, man. We go back to the turn of the century. That's the previous century, not this century. And we're meeting kind of the progenitors of the whole thing in Sicily, okay? So if you know your Godfather-isms, my friends, you know that the Corleone family famously comes from Corleone, Sicily. And you know, this game, just like all the Mafia games, they're trying to ape. I'm sorry, not ape. They're trying to pay homage. Homage is a much better word. It's French, you know. Ooh. To like gangster fiction, but specifically The Godfather. Let's be honest, Mafia is a Godfather clone. A video game, you know, and there's not a lot of those, and it's really not bad. And this guy is actually very good. It's bug-free, you know. I was kind of predicting that after Mafia Definitive Edition, this guy might have a few going on, but it doesn't. It's actually very clean, very narrative-focused, completely narrative-focused. Not an open-world game. Now, the world in which you're playing in is totally open, and you can theoretically drive off into the sunset. There's not much to do. There's not much to see. There's no side missions in that way. It's linear all the way, baby. Challenged narrative, and I gotta tell you, as a narrative, it's fantastic. This story tells, you know, again, it's like there's not anything new under the sun for Mafia stories, especially since Godfather exists and all that stuff, right? But what's here is great. It's about loyalty. There's some romance in it, plenty of violence, plenty of knife fights. God, what else could you want? So far, this review is really glowing, and indeed, the game deserves it. This is a world-class third-person, quote-unquote, open world, right? Narrative, linear, channeled storytelling experience. There's one thing that holds it back from greatness, and I'll tell you what that is right now. That thing is basically there's kind of a lack of variety in what you're actually doing gameplay wise. Now, I don't want this to hold you up too much, because I'm telling you, this is a good game. It's excellent. And in fact, I gotta say, it might be my favorite Mafia game. I don't know. I might have to play it again in the near future and see how I feel about that. But okay, here's what this is. There are basically only 4 modes of play, and you repeat them and repeat them and repeat them for the running length, which is like there's like 14 chapters, and so I think it's supposed to be like each chapter gets an hour. So you do the math on that. 14 plus 14 equals 14. That's not the math, by the way. But anyways, there's 4 things you do. Okay, you stealthify, you shootify, you knife fightify, and you drive or horsify. Okay, so, you know, and there's racing, which is the horsing. Or, sorry, the driving. The driving. Maybe you race in the horsing. I don't know, whatever. But in the horsing and the knifing and the shooting and the stealthing, that's it. They have you know, it's just that it cycles through all those things again and again. Between these beautiful interludes of story. Just excellent, awesome story. I'm not even lying about the story. It's really nice. The character models are exquisite. The world is lush and beautiful. And if Sicily isn't this pretty, I've never been. If Sicily isn't this pretty, it needs to be. Someone get on that. Call the Italian Board of Beautification of Sicily and have them beautify that Sicily a little harder. Be like, board, beautify that stuff, because it's gorgeous, man. It's beautiful. The cars handle really nice. I'm a glutton for punishment. I always put my vehicles in the Mafia games on standard transmission. So like all these racing things that you do, and they're really fun because, you know, the Italians and their racing, not to disparage the Italians for loving racing, but sticking a manual transmission on these old boxy race cars, it's just really good fun. They rock around and they barely skid around these corners and stuff on all these dirt roads and stuff. It's really good. But again, I gotta drive again. I gotta shoot again. I gotta stealth again. You know? I got a knife fight again. And these knife fights are cool too. This is a weird complaint. Maybe. But here's my thing. Like in Mafia Definitive Edition, it is a linear experience, but there's kind of like more worldliness to it. There's more things to do out there. There's very little to do in this Sicily if you can get away. And you really can't get away. You're channeled into this. So whereas, you know, in reality, maybe there's not that much other things going on in other games, including the other Mafia games. But look, I said earlier at the beginning of this thing that Mafia 3 is not my favorite, right? It's just not as good, okay? The story's not as interesting. The gameplay's not as tight. But again, it was this open world, so you didn't quite mind if there was less to do from a variety point of view, because it feels free. It feels free. I don't mind that this is linear. I just wish maybe there was a little bit more variety, or within the knife fights, stealthify, shootify, drivify thing, that they had provided different goals and different objectives. Because you're infiltrating, you end up in a fight, you end up in a knife fight, you drive away. That's it. That's like every hour devoted to every chapter. So it's good though. Lord bless it with your rosary, your rosary that gives you buffs for all the gameplay things you might want. It's good. It's really, really good. It's just not perfect. It's verging on great. So that's where I'm going to stick it. Acting on behalf of Jeff Bull Central. There's nobody else here, by the way. It's just me. Acting on behalf of Jeff Bull Central. This is Jeff Bulls. I would like to give it a 9, but I'm not gonna. Okay? I would like to give it a 10, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. And if I could nudge it up to 9, I would. It's just that, man, maybe I need to play it one more time. I tend to grade a little bit lower than people have fun sometimes, just because I'm aware that otherwise I'll be too enthusiastic. I'll tell you everything is perfect and everything, and it isn't. You're gonna love it if you love this series, and if you love, like, you know, Mafia fiction, Godfather type stuff. Like, if you're gonna play this, and then when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out next year, you will see a huge disparity in what's possible, in what's desirable, and what variety can do for you. Because I can almost guarantee you Rockstar is going to cook up something that is better than this, okay? Just because. Just compare the two series so far. That's my prediction, not really knowing, right? So that's it. Mafia, the old country, gets 8 out of 10. Like and subscribe. Take the cannoli. Leave the gun. Leave a review of my review. Take the gun. Shoot the cannoli. There's a thing in there somewhere. Bye!
Sun, I'll wait.